Injury after injury has derailed the Chicago Cubs season, but more than anything, their inability to pick a lane and choose what they wanted to do has hurt them the most. The chickens have come home to roost, and now the Chicago Cubs find themselves in a predicament that they might not be able to climb themselves out of this year. We got to talk about it and then some. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central. This is your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Mike Jones. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, do me a favor. If you love the Chicago Cubs, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want the Chicago Cubs to get their ish figured out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, ting that bell, smash that bell button so that way you never miss anything that I drop here on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for watching. Appreciate you guys so much. Listen, y'all, the Chicago Cubs lose another winnable game on Monday night to the Cincinnati Reds. That's right. Those same Cincinnati Reds that went out and made trades to get themselves better. For the rest of this season, we will look at this trade deadline as the reason why the Chicago Cubs are in the situation that they're in. And they find themselves again in a situation where they are scuffling, they are injured, and they are trying to figure out what to do. Now, we did get good news. We did get good news from Craig Counsell before the game. Jameson Tyone did have his first injury rehab start in AAA Iowa. Everything went fine. Pitch count went fine. He looked fine. So he is on course to make his return. He will do another stint with AAA Iowa, and then after that, he will probably join the majors again. So that is good news for the club, but you get even worse news. You get even worse news. Why? Because the Chicago Cubs actually lose the one starting pitcher that they traded for at the deadline. They lose him to injury immediately. That's right. It's hilarious. It's laughable at this point when you think about the fact that the Chicago Cubs just cannot figure this thing out. That's right. Michael Soroka was pitching for the Chicago Cubs. He was the starting pitcher in this game for the Cubs, looking to make his Cubs debut. And he started out not too bad. I mean, he did give up one home run, but outside of that, he held serve, 2 innings pitched, one hit, one earned run, one walk, 3 strikeouts on 31 pitches, 18 of those being strikes. Um, and then, of course, as fate would have it, in the third inning, he would have to come out the game, leave the game with a injury, a discomfort in his shoulder. And unfortunately, Craig Counsell did identify after the game that he will end up on the injured list. This is worst case scenario for our Cubs. This is terrible. The Cubs already are lacking pitching. Now you look to have to go back to starting Ben Brown again. You look to have Colin Ray still in the lineup in the rotation, and you look to potentially, have to throw a couple of bullpen games in there too, because you don't have any other options right now. You don't have any other options right now for pitchers. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because the Chicago Cubs had a chance at the deadline to do what they needed to do to make this a winning ball club. And unfortunately, they were unwilling to do what they needed to do in the offseason to make this team a winning ball club. So therefore, at the trade deadline, you couldn't trade Matt Shaw. At the trade deadline, you didn't want to have to give up Matt Shaw, have to give up Ben Brown, have to give up Owen Casey, and maybe Kevin Alcantara. So the Chicago Cubs find themselves in a bit of two slumps. They're in an injury slump because all their pitching is starting to fall apart. And then you find yourself also in a slump because the Chicago Cubs also can't hit the bright side of a barn. It's terrible right now. Let's go through the stats. Nico Horner, 0 for 4. Kyle Tucker, 0 for 3. Seiya Suzuki, 0 for 3. Carson Kelly, 0 for 4. Castro, 1 for 4. Justin Turner, 0 for 1. Michael Bush, 0 for 2. Ian Happ went 1 for 3. Dansby Swanson went 1 for 3. He scored the only Cubs runs with that 2-run homer. Matt Shaw 0 for 1. Pete Crow Armstrong did come in and pinch hit, and he was 0 for 1 also. The Chicago Cubs risk finding themselves losing even the top wild card spot if they don't get it together. If they don't figure this out, y'all, we could look at the demise of a team that we thought was going to be something. 65-47 right now is their record. This is a very winnable series. I expect them to win these next 2 games. I expected them really to probably sweep this series, but, beggars can't be choosers. Then you got the Cardinals. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. And I find myself saying that so much about this team that is just unfortunate because what they could have done, what they could have been, instead they chose not to be. He chose not to do it. Jed Hoyer would rather punt this season and go and run with what he has than go for the big haul and try to get, or try to win a World Series. The Padres, look at everything that they did. Look at the moves that they made. They're going for it. They're trying to win their division. They're not worried about trying to win a wild card spot. They're trying to win their division. They went and beefed up their pitching. Phillies beefed up their pitching. Chicago Cubs were unwilling to do the things they needed to do. So here's my thought. And you guys tell me below what your thoughts are on this. Right now, Nico Horner, Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, Carson Kelly, Justin Turner, Michael Bush, they're all struggling. All struggling. All struggling. Dansby Swanson struggling too. The play from tonight that cost the Cubs the game-tying run because Dansby Swanson did not touch first base is literally the epitome of his season and of the money that you paid him. And it's laughable. Laughable. You had an opportunity, Dansby, to be the hero in this game and at least keep it 3-3, send it into extras. But instead, this is how things have gone for Dansby Swanson this season. This sums up Dansby Swanson's season. Sound off, guys, below. Let me know your thoughts. I would yell, I would scream, I would go off. But after I saw what did not happen at the trade deadline, I kind of figured this is where we're headed. We're going to swim upstream just barely, praying and hoping that we get a wild card spot. That way you get a wild card series, hey, you get a game at Wrigley. Everybody gets to say, oh, we played playoff baseball in 2020 and 2025. Yeah, but you could have done so much more. Kyle Tucker will go on somebody else's team and be amazing. Justin Turner probably will go somewhere else. Seiya Suzuki and PCA hopefully continue to progress, and maybe you sign somebody in the offseason. Or maybe you just call up those rooks that you coveted so much. But here's the thought. Why don't you call those rooks up now? Why are we waiting? We lack the big hit. The last big hit we had, you know what it was? Moises Ballesteros. Getting that big hit, that base clearing double that really put the Chicago Cubs over the top and salvaged at least one game against the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee. Now you're struggling. You're 3 games back of the Brewers now because you keep losing. I mean, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, man. I really don't know what else to tell you guys, but I need you to sound off below. Let me know your comments. Tell me, would you call up Moises Ballesteros? Would you give Owen Casey a shot this year? Stop messing around with these guys, man. These big leaguers that just ain't producing. We're running into the same exact issue we started to run into with Javi Baez, Chris Bryant, and Anthony Rizzo. When your main core stop producing, you have to make changes. And I feel like the Chicago Cubs are always too late to make the changes. You have a chance here to rally. Bring these big kids up and see if the moment's too big for them. See what they have. Stop waiting for Kyle Tucker to get out of this slump. Stop waiting for PCA to stop swinging at everything. Stop hoping and praying that Matt Shaw fixes his swing. If you see these guys in AAA producing, call them up, see what they got. It worked for Cade Horton. Why can't it work for them? I don't know, man. I don't know. You guys signed off below. Let me know your thoughts. Chicago Cubs will go against the same Cincinnati Reds again, trying to even up the series Tuesday night. It's a TBS game, but it'll also be on marquee. It's going to be Zach Littell going up against Shota Imanaga. Shota looking to right some wrongs and continue to get back on the same page. Hopefully he can do so. He is great at Wrigley. So hopefully he has his thing going for him. His mojo finds that. But yeah, man, it's just sad, man. Sad to watch our Cubs. We had a fun 2 months of baseball, but since the beginning of July, it's been abysmal. And we're now August 4th, 5th. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. I think Craig Counsell, Tommy Hotovy, these guys are racking their brain trying to figure out just where the hell did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong with Ryan Brazier? Where did we go wrong with our hitting? Where did we go wrong? And it's not just where did we go wrong? Why do things keep going wrong? How can we right the ship? I don't know, y'all.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.